Hi everyone, this is Emma from Twin Flame Infinity. So I want to talk a little bit today and expand a bit more on the energy update I put out yesterday, I think, or the day before, and also a bit about what's been going on over the past few months as a whole as well. So the energies that have been around us, certainly since around Christmas, and up until now, and what's continuing moving forward, is repressed memories coming up. So repressed memories are memories that we have kind of locked away, that we haven't remembered, we might have absolutely no idea about. And it can be quite shocking when these things come up, because you realise life as you know it is not actually how it was. These are normally childhood repressed memories. And the more we ascend and awaken and heal, the more these memories will start coming out. We kind of, with our awakening, we have a remembrance of everything, and we can even start remembering past lives. So it's only natural that anything locked away from childhood or even in adult life will end up coming to the surface. But it does come at a time where you're that far along in your journey, you're able to deal with these issues a lot better. You've already learnt the tools for healing, you've already become stronger, you've built up an awareness. You might be meditating more, and have other kind of ways that you can deal with these things. So the further along you go, you may find that these kind of more traumatic things will come out. So it is important that we work through these and we let these out, because it does affect your ability to manifest the things you want in law of attraction, because they're stored in the subconscious. So the subconscious is where where our law of attraction powers come from. So you might find that you think certain things, but it's not happening. That could be because actually you need to reprogram the subconscious to make that actually project what you want and believe it. You'll have certain belief systems in there. For example, with money, you might have been told money's evil, money causes nothing but trouble. You might have certain beliefs around rich people, and you may think that you don't, but actually your subconscious could be storing these things because the things you've heard when you were younger, and they kind of turn into beliefs, and sometimes we're not even aware of that. So that's why we always need to reprogram for law of attraction to work. So repressed memories are going to help with that, because if there is anything repressed you're not sure about, you will have certain emotions and things that are playing out, even though you don't remember why that's happening. Because the memories are still there, they're just locked away in a part that you're not able to access at this point. So moving forward, I think a lot of us have been having repressed memories coming up, and certainly from now and moving forwards as well. If you haven't, then it's more than likely you will, if there is anything there. Or if you have started already with these repressed memories, you'll find that with healing, everything comes in layers. So it's the same with these repressed memories. So you might have thought that you've dealt with certain things, but actually another aspect will come up, or the memory will become more visible to you. So you'll have a longer period. Instead of flashes of certain things, you might have a bit of a longer memory of that certain point that's coming up to the surface. So that's the importance of healing for law of attraction, and also for yourself as well, and for Ascension. If we've got negative thoughts or beliefs or emotions that are still hidden inside us, then obviously this affects your Ascension, because Ascension is all about stripping away all that. It's letting go of all the baggage so we can rise up. We can rise our vibration up and let all those things go. So it is important that if they do come up, that you face them. there's different reasons why we can have repressed memories. Some people talk about mind control, and you can find websites about all this on the internet. I suggest DuckDuckGo. Google is highly censored, so DuckDuckGo, you'll find a lot more with what you want to look for in respect to these kind of things. They could be inflicted by abuser, so we can have repressed memories from traumatic experiences, and they're locked away because it's our brain's way of protecting us from not remembering these things. It's like a safety mechanism. So you just simply don't remember. It might have been a one-off event maybe, or only happened a couple of times. So you've naturally, as you've got older, just forgotten about that. And of course, if no one's talking about it as well, then it's not going to be a common theme growing up. So whatever reason, healing can be achieved and ascension can be achieved, and learning law of attraction and manifesting the things you do want instead of what you don't want can be achieved. As you know, or most of you will know, I'm a healer. So I deal with all these aspects in either my one-to-one sessions or in my VIP packages. And I use source, God, universe, whatever you want to call that, angels. And I also use crystals in my healing as well. I am an advanced crystal healer. If you happen to be in the UK and you live anywhere near Liverpool, or you can get to Liverpool, I am actually opening a new office when this lockdown is over, so you can have in-person sessions with me, or of course I'm available online worldwide. You can just go on the website or email me for more information or to book. So when you start waking up, you'll probably look back over your life as you become more aware in a 5D sense rather than in the 3D sense or in the matrix or what you would call normal life before awakening. You might look back over your life and actually see how it happens in stages. So I actually, in my childhood, so before I hit my teens at 13, I actually looking back and see how I had two different stories play out. So I had things that happened in my early childhood up until I was about 6 or 7. And then I had things play out from about 7 to 12 or 13. And they were two completely different things. But I had my own life experiences from each part. Then when I was in my teens, that actually split into two sections. So I had certain things play out in the first half, and then in the second half it was completely different again. Everything changed, people around me changed, circumstances changed. It's quite, you don't really notice it at the time because it's normal and you're just going through life. But actually when you look back, it's quite strange to see how it actually looks and how it plays out. So then I went into my 20s, and then I had yet another story. This is when I was with my narcissistic husband and I had 4 children with him. So that was a whole experience in itself. By the time I was 13, we split up. Another kind of story started, and that's played out for most of my 30s. In that time I had my conscious awakening. So I think a lot of us are always unconsciously awake to things, but we're not consciously awake to it. And I think part of the awakening as well is being consciously aware and realizing what's going on and how things actually work in a 5D sense. So most of my 30s have had their own trials, experiences, life stories, soul lessons, whatever you want to call it. But it's also been part of my awakening process as well, and awakening up to things, healing from things, and my general ascension really. So life, as you go into ascension, once you finish with these life lessons, life will change again, and it'll be a whole completely different experience. And this might be at the point that some of you are at now. So the life lessons will begin to tie up all the loose ends of it as you realise you're transferring into your 5D Ascension side. So you're becoming more aware of your life purpose, more aware of the things I've just talked about, more aware or feeling more drawn into now teaching other people yourself, offering healing and advice for people, and kind of going into the areas that you have a passion for, what you've been brought here to do. So for me, it's healing and certain aspects of healing, like what I'm talking about now. So I'm kind of more channeling into that now. I do still have some little loose ends that I'm tying up from my kind of 3D life lesson work, but I am ascending into the 5D. I'm having that transition, which a lot of us are going through. I do think that when we have this transition into the 5D, those harsher life lessons will stop. We're always still learning, and we will go through things as we carry on in life, because that's why we're here, for experience. But they won't be as harsh as they were before. They won't be as big or catastrophic as it can appear when we're going through it. But also as well, because we have the ability to deal with it, we are now have control of our minds more, as in the subconscious aspect, and about thinking positively more, things to avoid, learning about self-sabotage, so we know how to avoid doing that, so we can kind of carry on a path that is good. And we recognise toxic people, so we can stay away from them. We're not getting drawn into things like that. You may, if you've been on drugs before, maybe drank a bit too much, you're coming away from those things, so you're not getting led astray or doing things that you wouldn't normally do, because we all know alcohol lowers your inhibitions. Whether you've got a problem with it or not, sometimes we can have a night out and it doesn't always go so great. And we kind of move away from that as we go into Ascension and become more spiritual. So, we're naturally, anything that we've gone through before is going to be avoided more now as we ascend anyway. So we'll start serving our purpose more fully. So I'm just checking my notes. You'll realise as well that things have happened for different reasons. I think I've just touched on that, really, kind of seeing why it's playing out in the 3D, but also the 5D aspect, so the soul lessons of why it plays out. But also in the 3D aspect, it's about experiencing the things that are happening that we want to bring change to as light workers. So it kind of builds an awareness up around it, a knowledge around it, so then you're able then to unite with other people that have the same experience, so together you work as one. A lot of the awakening and ascension process as well is realising that we're not all separate, we are all joined, we are one. There's been a lot of methods put in place for divide and conquer tactics, and you'll realise further along the path you go that there actually is no separation. So we come together more in groups, and we're then able to fulfill our missions and be more successful in our missions, working together. So you'll see the aspects for that as well. And then you come out of victim mode and into survivor mode then. And that also makes your traumas a lot easier to deal with, when you can kind of look at it from that perspective, instead of this perspective of these things happen to you. So there is a big quote that light workers like to use: these things happen for you and not to you. And that's a point you get to further along your healing journey. So I think that's about it for this video. So as I say, if you do need any help with the healing, with law of attraction or your spiritual gifts, I do the VIP sessions as well as one-to-one sessions online worldwide, and I do have the new office that's going to be opening in Liverpool in the UK. If you're in the UK and you would like to see me face to face, just get in touch via email or on my website to book that. The one-on-one sessions in the UK, I haven't updated the website yet, so you can email me if you're in the UK and you would like to come to a session, a hands-on session. So I use crystals, essential oils. We go through trauma healing, energy work, chakra work, things like that. So I will leave all the description in the box below anyway. If you've got any questions, just let me know. I'll leave my handles as well. I'm on Twitter and Instagram and also mewe. I still don't have my Facebook account back up and running yet. But my pages are still up, I believe, so you can still see reviews and stuff on the page. It's just not being updated until I can actually get access to it again. There is a lot of censorship on Facebook at the moment, so even when I can get back in, I will be back on there. So I think that's it. Just keep going with everything you're doing. Keep using lockdown for your advantage, as in working on yourself, working on your spiritual gifts, meditating more, and just try and see it as a positive, really. Don't fall into that trap of fear or things like that, because that's just going to pull you back down and you want to ascend out of that. So try and pull away. If you're feeling the energy of the collective, then try and pull out of that with your breathing techniques or meditation, and that'll help. So I will see you in the next video. Namaste.